Well, hello everybody. It is now Friday, okay, and I have had a crazy week. It's been one appointment after the next. I have just been trying to get things situated regarding my surgery, and I actually have found a surgeon, and I'm going to be getting surgery done tomorrow morning here in Bangkok at St. Louis Hospital. And the reason why I went with that hospital is because, number one, it was recommended to me by a friend of mine here in Bangkok. Number two, I compared the cost of different services with another big hospital here in Bangkok, and they came in like half of what this other hospital quoted me on some of the main services that they offered. So you have to shop around. If you're going to come to Thailand, you're going to come to Bangkok for medical services, make sure you do your homework and go around and check out the different hospitals. Now, some of these international hospitals, they may market themselves certainly at a high level, and when you walk in there, they're going to be pristine and just immaculate and just fantastic. But you know what, you can go to other hospitals and really receive the same amount of care and the same level of customer service and so forth, and you don't have to go to some of the big name hospitals here in Bangkok to receive that. So if I were to make any recommendations regarding medical tourism here in Thailand, make sure you do your homework and be ready to run around. So I have been hopping grab bikes in the area, and they're super cheap and granted not the safest. However, it's just me, and I'm running around here Bangkok, and it's been actually a really fun experience jumping on the back of these bikes to go from hospital to hospital. And I've really gotten to see a lot of the city and some of the architecture here, and that's been quite exciting for me. With my issue, with my foot pain, I've been somewhat limited in walking around, and I don't want to exacerbate and inflame my foot before surgery because that would only make more further complications for me post-operatively. So I've had to be very cautious regarding that. What else have I done? Well, I've met up with my friend Amanda. She's also here for medical tourism, and she went for like breast workup and so forth, and like screening, and I won't get into the details because that's her private business. However, she shopped around too and found the best price for what she was looking for. So again, I highly recommend you shop around. Now, making appointments with these different hospitals is not easy, especially from afar. And what I found to really be beneficial is if you just work your email. So you can email these hospitals. There are English-speaking people taking in those emails, and they'll transcribe and they'll figure out what you're looking for and then communicate back with you. So that was one way about going about it. I have a Thai phone number here in Thailand, and I just recently started utilizing that, as I normally just use my American number and use Wi-Fi calling, and that's been very beneficial for just making calls. But Thailand, they really like a Thai number, and if they don't reach you the first time, they'll call you back in a couple hours later, which is exactly what happened today. So yesterday I went for all my pre-op workup and had EKG, chest x-ray, all the blood work, saw a physician to actually check me over head to toe, and the price for that worked out to be about maybe 260, 270 US dollars, which I thought was rather reasonable for pre-op workup, and being that I have a medical background, I know how expensive these things can be, and that would be, gosh, $2,000, $3,000 probably in the US. You know how it is in the US. So I felt completely good about that. I found out some interesting information about my cardiac status and things of that nature too, something that I've been wanting to follow up on, and that was good. So I'm cleared for surgery. Tomorrow morning is my surgery at St. Louis Hospital here in Bangkok. I'll be going in at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, and my surgery is actually at 8 a.m. But I have to go in, and of course they go through the whole gamut, and you need time to prep or whatever they need to do with you. I have a funny feeling I'll be waiting around quite a bit. But yeah, 8 a.m. I'll be in the OR. And the nice thing about this particular surgeon versus the other surgeon that I saw is that they want to do like a spinal anesthesia. So I won't be completely out under general anesthesia, which opens up a whole can of worms for complications post-operatively. So the less you can go under general anesthesia, the better. So they'll do the spinal, and they're going to be taking my second toe, second metatarsal, straightening it, resecting a joint, and then I have 2 toes next to that, the third and the fourth, that are all crooked and deformed. And I'll entertain you guys by including a picture here of my deformity on my foot, which has been caused by a lot of damage to my foot over the years from running and a lot of pressure on that plantar area. So the surgery, he quoted me 150,000 baht, which is about maybe $4,700. That's in the door, out the door, and that's with the worst case scenario where they have to do wires. They have to, just work on all 3 of those toes, versus he may be able to just do an internal fixation with a fixed screw, and I won't have any wires, and I won't need to come back to Bangkok, and it may only be 1 toe. So I'm going to give them 75,000 baht, half the amount, and then we'll see what happens in the surgery, and then they will give me the total afterwards. And there is a challenge here. So even though people speak some decent English, there is still that language barrier. I did ask for translation services. So being that I am a nurse, I have a nursing background for many a year, and working with another nurse that was doing my pre-op workup. She spoke some English, but you know what, guys, it's just not, there is a huge barrier. And many of the hospitals don't offer completely fluent speaking English translators for you that are medically certified. So that is a challenge. So if you don't have a medical background, you may not know what to expect, and you may not know what they're going to ask you. I use some Google translation application on my phone to translate some of the pre-op checklist and workup that she was doing. And because I already had the medical background, I already kind of knew what she was going to ask me, and it didn't take too long before we were done. But I feel like that would be very challenging for somebody that was coming here. That's where being at more of an international hospital may serve you well. You're going to pay a lot more money, but you know what, you're paying for these high-level interpreters that are there to assist you. For me, I felt like I knew what I was doing, so going to a hospital that did not necessarily offer a lot of that, I'm okay with it. And being that my surgery is not completely involved, I mean, we're not looking at open heart surgery here. We're looking at foot surgery. We're looking at potentially 3 toes to have correction done. So you guys have to make those decisions based on your wallet and your level of comfort regarding medical care. So those are my recommendations as a medical professional, as an expat, and as someone here that needs her own procedure done. I would be glad to help you with any of the questions you have. And granted, I am not a doctor, but I have a lot of knowledge, and I always will refer you to your physician to get those things clarified. But as far as your care here in Thailand, do your homework and make sure you know what you're doing, as always. All right, we'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye.